What's up, guys? Fight of the night, no-brainer, the main event. Giga and Cater, Collier, performance of the night, and Slav was the third.
Yeah.
They all won $50,000.
Like you said, clear fight of the night, obviously, in the main event. We didn't get to see either guy. They were both transported. I'm sure it's too early to have an update, but were there any specific concerns with their health, or was it just...
Yeah, for me there was. Yeah, as soon as I saw Giga come back to the corner, I was telling my guys, get him out of here immediately and get him to the hospital. You know, when you're in a war like that, yeah, just to be safe.
Yeah, and Calvin, same thing, just to be safe with him.
Yeah, I mean that was an absolute war. So yeah, get them straight to the hospital, get them checked out, and make sure they're okay.
Nice. What were your thoughts on the fight? Obviously, like you said, clear fight of the night, war. I mean, what were your thoughts overall?
First fight of the year and a fight of the year candidate already. That's the way to start it. That's the way to start the year. It was incredible. And you know what's funny? I was saying it. I don't know who the hell I was talking to back there, but I was saying it's almost like everybody forgot about Calvin Cater and Max Holloway. You know what I mean? And a lot of people were counting him out tonight, and he looked unbelievable. I thought that spinning elbow he landed definitely changed the fight. You know, and I think the first round, the wrestling match in the first round, tired them both out, and they just dug in and went to war.
Yeah. What does it tell you about Calvin? I mean, obviously the last time out did not go his way at all. That was very difficult. So takes a year off and has a performance like that. I mean, what does that tell you about a guy like that?
Yeah, I mean, that guy's an absolute dog, man. I mean, if you look at the fights that he's had in the UFC, but specifically now Holloway and Giga, he's a special kind of guy. You know, he's a fucking warrior, man.
Yeah. Does the result tonight kind of lock in that Holloway is definitely next when he comes back? Because I think there was a lot of talk like, hey, did he lose his spot since he couldn't compete? I mean, does Giga losing tonight ensure that Max is going to fight for the title when he comes back?
Why I was doing media this week for the fight next week, and I don't remember who I was talking to. They're like, well, what about Giga for the fight? Giga didn't even fight yet. You know what I mean? So we're looking to put together these fights. And they're like, oh, the Korean Zombie got the fight. Giga should have got the fight. Giga's got to fight tonight. And in this sport, man, you never know. You think you know, but you don't. None of us know. It's what makes this sport so great. You never know what the hell's going to happen with these guys. And, we got to lock in dates for fights. And Zombie is absolutely positively the guy that should have got the fight. So it worked out the way that it should have worked out.
Nice. One more guy I wanted to ask you about tonight. Vyacheslav obviously got a performance of the night bonus as well. I mean, what did you think about his performance tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you were all here. You heard that body shot. I mean, holy shit. And that guy came after him, man. That guy went after him. I think the big question for him was, what if it goes to the ground? You got a guy that's really good on the ground. Went to the ground with a good guy on the ground, and he passed the test tonight. So, again, I look forward to seeing him in the future.
Nice. You touched on the big fights next week. I did want to ask. I mean, the main event, huge, unification bout. But it seems like all the talk is just about Francis and his contract and boxing and that sort of thing. I mean, do you think there's any chance of resolving the situation prior to the fight next week?
I don't know. Listen, it's not like we haven't been in this position before. This happens sometimes, and we'll see how it plays out.
Nice.
It doesn't matter. He's going to fight on Saturday, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah. Henry Cejudo's been speaking out a little frustrated that maybe he didn't get a look at the title shot and feels like maybe you guys aren't willing to pay him.
Isn't that guy retired? He's retired, isn't he? I mean, the last time I saw, he was retired. And now he's mad that he didn't get a title shot? That doesn't even make sense. In a different weight class? It doesn't make sense.
The example that everybody points to, obviously, is George St. Pierre and said, well, you gave him that opportunity prior. Why wouldn't you do it, tender it up again? Is it? Yeah,
so I should have jumped over everybody and gave it to him because all of a sudden, last week he decided he's not retired? Come on, man, this is a fucking silly conversation. Silly. He wants to come back and try to win the title again in his weight class and then talk about moving up or doing something else, but you don't just fucking pop up and start calling somebody names and think that you're going to get a title shot in a different weight class when you've been retired for, what, two and a half years?
Yep. Last question for me. I want to ask, obviously, the pay-per-view price changing. Everybody's kind of up in arms about that. I know that's an ESPN decision, but do you guys have any input in that at all? Do you ever say, like, hey, maybe that's a little too much for the consumer?
We don't. We don't have any say in that. You know, we gave the pay-per-views to ESPN, so yeah, that's their decision. You know how I feel about that stuff. I don't love when prices get raised, but it's not my decision, it's theirs.
Dana, can you comment on the pressure that Kattar put on? It seemed like, you know, his forward pressure was so much that Giga just basically couldn't fight his fight. You know, he couldn't throw the kicks and whatnot. That was the difference, did you think?
Yeah, I think that, you know, there's a couple things that I think affected the fight. Obviously, the first round, the wrestling and the grappling that happened in that first round, and then that spinning elbow he hit him with. I think that stuff really turned the tide of the fight for Calvin Kattar. And you're absolutely right. He kept constant pressure on him. He stayed in his face. He kept moving him backwards. And, you know, it looked like Giga was out of it halfway through the second round.
The one thing, you know, a lot of guys were slipping, and, you know, Giga slipped. You know, he had that great opening flurry, some kicks, some punches. Seemed like he was doing pretty well, and he slips, and then the whole fight changes for him. Is there something going on with the octagon now? There was a lot of guys tonight that slipped. Royval a couple times slipped. You know, have you heard guys complain about it or anything?
No. And if you ask any of the guys that fight in there, that canvas is, you fall down on that canvas. To guys like you and me, it's like road rash. It's like falling down on the pavement. That's how coarse that is. And the reason it is like that is for when they're striking, they don't slip. Right. I mean, you can't get it any nastier. The canvas can't be any nastier than it is.
But you did notice that, though, that there were a number of guys.
I didn't. You know, no, I didn't notice that. That they were slipping?
Yeah, because Royval slipped a couple of times. You know, obviously Giga slipped.
Did you ask any of the guys that came out tonight if
Well, since I've been here, there weren't anybody in here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, am I the only guy tonight? It's a good thing I showed up. Huh?
That's why we were begging you to come.
Yeah. Trust me, this one came and got me.
Dana, my final question for you, you know, and I said this to Calvin when I talked to him, but I wanted to get your thought. The fact that he took as long off as he did, a lot of times guys get beat up as badly as he did, and they want to get back in and they come back fast. The fact that he took off a year, do you think that played a part in how he looked? You know, he let himself recover and his body wasn't still beat up the way it was before.
I think after that fight he had with Max, you got to take a year off. I think you have to. The answer is yes. It absolutely positively did, and he absolutely positively needed to take that time off.
Hi, Dana.
Hey.
When Caitlin came back here, she mentioned that she wanted to renegotiate her contract before this fight and that she wasn't able to. Do you have plans to re-sign her, do you think?
That who did?
Caitlin Chikagian?
Yeah. Yeah, I know that we went into this fight with her contract. It's expired now. She's a free agent right now. I don't know. Her and that was between her and Mick. Mick did that deal with her. So we'll see what happens. You know, we'll get back in the room on Tuesday and figure out what's next.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yep.
Dana, the heavyweight fight next weekend, I'm curious, in the history of your promotion, where does this one rank in terms of excitement for you with Ngannou and Cyril?
Why does this one lack what?
Where is the excitement for you? In terms of your other heavyweight fights, where does this one rank for you?
Yeah, no, this is one of the biggest ever. I mean, I was just saying to somebody else backstage, Vince couldn't write a better script than this one. These two guys came out of the same camp. They've actually trained together. Now they don't like each other and all the animosity between them. Plus you got a guy with one punch, I mean, vicious one-punch knockout power against a guy who is probably, you know, stylistically the best striker in the history of the heavyweight division. So you couldn't have a better storyline. You couldn't have a better stylistic matchup. And it's sold out, first time back in California in a while. Going to be good.
I know how you feel about the boxing questions, but are you surprised that Tyson Fury has sort of popped up and started pushing a fight between him and Francis?
No, listen, man, these guys, none of this surprises me. It's like these boxing guys need guys to fight. That's what it shows. You know what I mean? And, yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me at all.
You were actually quoted in a lawsuit between Crawford and Bob Arum the other day when you said that.
Oh, they could have pulled a lot of fucking quotes from me about Bob Arum. They just chose that one. There's got to be a 10-page, list of quotes from me about Bob Arum.
But you're happy with that quote?
Sure. Yeah, I'll own it.
It's
All
obviously
true.
It's obviously the first event of the year, so I'm curious, 2022, can you give us a prediction, give us one prediction what you think will happen in the sport and in MMA and UFC this year?
What do I think will happen with what this year?
Give us one sort of crazy prediction that's going to happen this year.
Oh, God. Who knows what's going to happen this year, man? It's like, as soon as we start to get out of something, here comes Omicron, and this is what I will tell you. Whatever crazy shit gets thrown at us in 22, we'll fight through it. We'll get it figured out, and we'll continue to put on great fights. And I don't know if we'll leave the country, or how many times we'll leave the country, or how many different states we'll go to, but we'll keep doing what we've been doing the last 2 years, and putting on the best fights literally in the world.
Thank you.
If you look at 21 and 20, they were two of the best years in UFC's history. So do the same in 22.
Dana.
Hey.
Charles Rosa and Kevin Kroom hopped on a plane on 3 days' notice to come fight. I just wanted your thoughts on their balls to take a fight on short notice.
Yeah, no, it's one of the other great things about this sport is that these guys do that. There's always a guy out there willing to step up and take an opportunity. So, yeah, I love it.
Colby versus Masvidal got booked. I just wanted your thoughts on that fight.
Did Colby and Masvidal? Yeah, we got it done. Finally, we got that fight done. I'm excited about it. Again, another great storyline and another great fight.
Is there any truth to the rumor that Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier might be the co-main event on that fight card?
Nate
Diaz?
Nate? No, I don't know. I don't know yet.
And then finally, UFC London does not have a main event. There's two kind of fights out there swirling. There's Uriah Hall versus Darren Till, and then Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker. I just wanted to know if any of those fights are going to be the main event.
Yeah, we haven't announced that card yet, right?
Not really, no.
Yeah, we're still working on that card. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Dana. You mentioned Omicron. When you got sick with COVID, you reached out to Joe Rogan for advice on what to do. I was wondering what your thoughts were with the 200-plus doctors trying to put pressure on Spotify, saying that Joe's a menace to...
Are they really?
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Ever since I came out and said what I did, it's almost impossible now to get monoclonal antibodies. They're making it so you can't get them. Medicine that absolutely works, they're keeping from us. I don't want to get too political and start getting into all this shit, but ivermectin and monoclonal antibodies have been around for a long time. Now all of a sudden you can't dig them up to save your life. The doctors won't give them to you, And even when I did it here in Vegas, which was however many weeks ago that I had it, like right before Christmas, I think, or something. I made one phone call and was able to get it done. And that's not like some fucking rich famous guy shit. Like anybody could have called and because that's what everybody always throws at me. Yeah, of course you can fucking make a phone call and get it. Bullshit. Everybody could have got it back then. Lene had it. Lene did monoclonal antibodies and did all that stuff. Everybody could get it. Now, Rogan's been talking about it. Then I went crazy talking about it. You can't get those things to save your life now, literally.
Are you surprised at the backlash that people don't even want to allow you to discuss options and pretreatment?
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's one of the craziest things that I've ever witnessed in my life. And we're not talking about experimental drugs or things that this stuff's been around. And the ivermectin,
You're a doctor?
The guy won the Nobel Peace Prize.
You're a doctor?
Huh?
You're a doctor?
No, but there's plenty of doctors
there you go.
that do.
Here he comes.
I just asked a question. Are you a doctor?
No, but I took them and they both work for me, so why shouldn't I be able to take them again? Or other people?
I won't answer.
No, come on, dive in.
We do have a brain.
Why shouldn't we be able to take
our
them?
own decision.
Right? You want to know what's scary? I bet I could get some fucking pain pills quicker than I could get monoclonal antibodies. No, not maybe. That's a fact. That's a fact. They fucking hand out pain pills like they're Tic Tacs.
Nobody said that was right.
Huh?
And nobody said that was right.
No, I hear you.
But they keep doing
But
it.
you can. Monoclonal antibodies and ivermectin isn't going to do anything to you. Pain pills kill you. Fact. And I'm not a doctor, but that's a fact.
On a lighter note, we've had a couple weeks off after 2021 was, an ambitious year. What did you do to relax?
What's the question?
Over the holidays, what did you do to relax during the time down?
Went up to Jackson Hole for a few days, and the kids were snowboarding, and I bet and lost on football games for 5 days straight. that was my time off.
Stay away from the parlays.
Stay away from the what?
The parlays. The parlays.
Parlay, yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't bet on sports, man. I only do it at like the end of the year at like some of the fun games and when college football's going off. That shit will fucking make you old quick, man. Let me tell you. It's crazy. Have you guys ever seen on SportsCenter, Scott Van Pelt has a segment called Bad Beats? Oh my God. That's me literally every time I bet on a sporting event. It's crazy.
Can you warn us what you're going to bet on before you do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's how you'd win. Well, you know what? The other day, the game was falling. God, what game was it? Remember the game where Dana had bet one team, I bet the other team. I said, at least one of us is going to win. The way that the spread landed, we both lost. Right? Anyway, I don't know. It's all a fucking blur anyway, and it's a nightmare. That's why I don't sports bet, man. It's the worst.
Thanks.
Good?
Quick one for you.
Yep.
So there was a report out that the Irish police department is investigating like an attack on Connor's establishment, and just knowing his past and some of the people that are involved over there. Like, any conversation with him just to see what he's doing?
I haven't talked to him about that. I heard it too, but I don't know anything about it.
Okay. You haven't talked to him like at all recently?
No. Good? Thanks, guys. Have a good night.